What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 171 of Ghost in the Night, a paranormal and true crime podcast. I am Phil, and as always, Travis is sitting to my left. Say hi, Travis.
Fuck the haters. And their moms.
It's all about the love, baby. It's all about the love. And this isn't
about the love that I'll make to your moms.
All right.
Figuratively speaking.
Tonight, excuse me. Tonight, we are doing, or I should say Travis is doing, but the topic at hand is the mysterious stairways. Let me retry that because I'm a fucking idiot. The mysterious stairways to nowhere. Are these, just random houses that have got torn away and when the stairs are there? Or is there something more sinister or even mysterious going on here?
Mysterious.
Travis will enlighten us with his docile tones on this topic. But before I turn Travis loose on this, we have some big news. We'll stick it in.
Russia invaded Ukraine? Is that the big news?
Bigger than that. Much bigger than that.
Tell that to all the trending hashtags.
We made our big time debut last night on another podcast who is famous. These people
fuckload more famous than us.
Oh, they blow us clear out of the water.
Yeah, they take a big steamy shit on our chest.
We are.
If only I fucking hit us up, Jerry. You want to drop a fucking Cleveland steamer? I'm your man.
We are not even a speck on their ass, but they were gracious enough to interview us, let us talk a little shit.
Did you listen to it? Did you listen to it at the end?
Yes.
When he was like, I probably should have said there was a little language warning.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, probably fucking so.
So you know what we're talking about. We made an appearance on the Hillbilly Horror Stories.
Yes.
Last night, I believe. So the episode is up. You can visit them at hillbillyhorrorstories.com, all one word, or find them on your favorite podcast app. They're on all of them because, like I said, they're large and in charge.
You fucking nailed that one. You should be the guy that reads really fast all the stuff at the end of the medical commercials.
Yes.
Livutin may cause anal rectal bleeding.
Unlike our wonderful commenters,
Residents of Alaska,
I can take sarcasm. I read sarcasm. I am fluent in sarcasm. All right, but tonight,
it's almost as if it exists.
Tonight we were talking to the mysterious stairways to nowhere. I can't even talk tonight. That's why you're doing it.
Not to mention this, not to be confused with the Stairways to Heaven, the song that is forbidden in all guitar stores,
according to Wayne's World.
Oh no, I think that's an actual fucking thing.
But be sure to go over to Hillbilly Horror Stories and be sure to follow them. They do some great work there. I mean, they have a lot of interesting. They do.
Oh, they are content machines
every day. That's a podcast at least 4 or 5 times a week.
I think it's 6.
6, yeah. They
on average.
They do this shit all the time, and I wouldn't want.
They just interviewed what was it? Grant Wilson
from Ghost Hunters.
Yeah,
big time.
Yeah, it was it came out a couple days before ours.
We got interviewed by the same people that just interviewed Grant Wilson. Yeah,
we got interviewed by the same people that interviewed the paranormal investigator that looks like the forsaken, thrown away brother of Owen and Luke Wilson.
Yes, but be sure to go over there.
Don't get me wrong, I fucking love Ghost Hunters, and that guy's the shit. Just
be sure to go over there, give them a listen, give them a follow, rate and review their show. It's awesome, and check out our episode there. Just wasn't about us. They did a horror story before us, and then we come on halfway through it, I believe. But be sure to give them share the love with them. And
yeah, I'm glad Tracy wasn't on there with us. I would have felt so bad speaking into her ear
the language in which
she's just such a nice Southern lady, and I'd be like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeah, but we enjoyed talking to him.
Fuck this shit as in like right. I don't want to talk to you like just as I normally talk. Be like, man, I fucking shitty fucked, and she'd be like, oh my god, my ears gonna bleed. My ears are gonna bleed. Yes. She's so sweet.
But we enjoyed the conversation we had with Jerry, and I'm sure you guys will too, and you'll enjoy listening to their podcast on a regular basis. As long as you listen to us first, and then go listen to them. That is the only thing we ask of our wonderful listeners. Papa Will's here.
Daddy William.
Staircases of Disbelief. Is that? But like I said, the link to their website is in the description or in the show notes or whatever, right below. But you can find them on any major podcast app. I am subscribed, and while
I have automatic download turned on.
When you subscribe and share their stuff, be sure to subscribe and share our stuff too. This video. Let's share this video. Let me get the graphic up. Share this video right now if you're watching this.
And like it.
You can like it too. Here, I'll even put that up. Like and subscribe if you're not liked. I said I was going to move that, but I didn't move it.
You take it and you shove it up people's rectums.
Turn that some bit sideways. All right. Like I said, tonight we are doing the mysterious Stairways to Nowhere. Travis is going to take the lead because I know absolutely. He brought this to my attention. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, I actually wrote this shit out. I have stuff I can just straight read. This is a whole new thing. We're breaking new ground.
We're actually
exclusively for us.
We're preparing.
Yeah. I didn't actually have to. I didn't have to do anything after work today.
Ooh.
I had all my social media. I had 3 social media posts on Instagrams.
Yeah.
I did 2 Twitters.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna put something on Parapost, but I don't think Parapost is quite ready for some of our content. It's a very small community. Check out Parapost if you're into the paranormal. It's basically just a paranormal fucking social media.
But
I forget the creator's name.
I don't know either.
It's the first person that pops up on your feed all the time because it's always announcements about new things, upgrades, stuff like that. Because it is an interesting app. You can tell it's in its infancy, but it's there. We'll see. Mm-hmm. We'll see how it goes. It's gonna explode, I'm sure.
But as in this,
we're gonna go with it.
With this episode, I know nothing. I am with you guys. I'm going to learn with the listeners and the viewers of the live stream. Travis is going to educate all of us.
With my rainbow unicorn bang. It's all right.
And I'll do it with my diet Mountain Dew.
You don't do the 0 calorie?
I don't really like that either.
See, I don't mind it. It just tastes like Diet Mountain Dew and regular Mountain Dew mixed together.
Huh, okay. Maybe I'll give it another shot. But I like Fountain. And they don't have it on Fountain.
I haven't had it out of a can. I've only had it out of a bottle.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and, Travis, the floor is yours, my man.
In a world where random fucking construction in places where it shouldn't be. Stuff. That is all. Have a good night. And thanks for coming. We love you. All right. So, the Stairways to Nowhere, or Stairs in the Wilderness. Take it how you will.
Or, according to Papa Will, Staircase of Disbelief, which I like that myself.
Well, I mean, I can't say it's interesting. I can't say I fully am just balls deep believing in this shit. But it is interesting, and we will have some quotes from a Reddit user who I will name later to give credit to his posts. So, let's get straight into the facts that aren't facts. Let's get straight into the interesting shit that might be fact, but it might not be. Who knows? Half the shit we say is fucking probably wrong anyway. So, over the last handfuls of years, there's been an influx.
We are grammatically correct here.
Stay in school, kids.
We might not be famous. You are grammatically correct. Me, not so
usually.
Much.
So there's been an influx of reports of random stairs in the forest around the world. Now, these stairs are reported to be made of all manner of material, from wood and concrete to metal, and they're being found in condition ranging from derelict and all fucked up and falling apart to pristine, as if they were just freshly built there, or cut and copy pasted from a house or a building and just dropped into the middle of the forest. Yeah, it runs the gambit on that.
We like that.
Yeah. So these stairs, they're not just immediately adjacent to any walking path or hiking trail or road or anything like that, but they're usually found miles and miles into the forest in areas that most people probably never see. Like miles away from trails that are used by hikers, and oftentimes these trails that they're miles away from are trails that would only usually be used by a more experienced hiker. So they're not in places traditionally that you and I would just randomly stumble upon.
You have to go deep into the woods.
Deep.
You have to go into, maybe, has anybody ever thought maybe this is Bigfoot? Maybe this is his home?
But it's just stairs.
Well, Bigfoot, is dimensional.
You're getting off the rails, and I haven't even gotten to my first LTAT.
Okay.
If you ever are looking at my notes and you see LTAT, it means let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, when we get to
I stole it from Rhett and Link.
All right.
And Good Mythical Morning, another great YouTube channel.
But
we will literally never get as famous as them.
Hey, we are famous in our own minds, in our own circle.
Is there any more questions? You in the back? Shut the fuck up. All right, here we go. So, I'm an idiot. Again, so like we're talking vast distances into very heavily wooded areas. Not just the woods. We're talking like straight up wilderness. Like where you can take a shit and know that nobody's going to see you. And chances are nobody's going to step in it. Unless it is the aforementioned Sasquatch that you brought up.
I can do that in this neighborhood.
I did that in fucking... I mean, I don't know if it's illegal, but I did that in Monroe Park. I was playing Frisbee golf and I had the squirts. Hey. So I pooped a little, so I ran into the woods and I shitted, and then I used my underwear to wipe my butt, and I left them in there.
Back in the day, I used to plow snow.
Yeah.
And, you plow...
Is that code for do shitloads of cocaine?
No, that's...
Damn it.
That's something entirely different. But I used to plow snow, and you do that overnight.
I used to blow rails like a fucking railroad worker.
And one night, I was in a parking lot, plowing the lot, in the old truck, just plowing and plowing and plowing. Mm-hmm. And I was like, ooh, nature hit. And it was the interstate, it was right there, but it was like there was a little bit of 100 yards worth of wooded area between the two buildings.
The tree line, basically.
Yeah, but there's a little bit
like a highway tree line. Yes, different than a tree line around here.
But I was in an industrial park.
Okay.
And the highway ran, it was elevated above the highway, but it was right there. So I said, I got to go grab a few shop rags that was in the truck. And keep in mind, it is wintertime at this time. This has been 15 years. 10, 15 years ago.
Did it poop sickle as it came out of your butt?
I think it froze.
So that'd be convenient though, as long as it created like a tunnel from your butt to the ground, and then it froze around that, and then you'd have something to sit on while you poop, and then you just kind of got to dink it off of there.
So I don't know if a bear shits in the woods. I know Phil did.
I've shit in the woods on several occasions.
Yes.
It's like I said, I was right there on, I don't know, hole 7. I don't fucking know. No. And it's like, and there's just woods on one side, and I was like, I went to fart. I was with my best friend, and I farted, and I was like, oh fuck. And he was like, what? And I was like, I just shit a little bit. And he was like, are you serious? I was like, do I look like I'm fucking kidding right now?
There's certain things you don't joke around
My
about.
asshole is clenched harder than the nerves and the anxiety-ridden bodies involved in this fucking whole World War III thing that might be happening.
So the moral of this story is, if you're out shitting in the woods, look for some mysterious stairs that lead to nowhere. No house or anything.
Well, I just know. I was like, man, I got to go to the bathroom. And he was like, well, we're in the middle of the woods playing Frisbee golf. And I was like, don't you worry, pumpkin. So I Sasquatched my fat ass through the woods. I was fucking sitting there, and I find a nice log that's fallen over that doesn't look just disease-ridden, like I'm going to get termites on my balls. And I fucking grab a hold of that thing, and I just, I express myself, if you will, as a dog would at the veterinarians. Just gross water. I know it's gross, but we've all been there. Everybody's had diarrhea. And this was when I was going through some medical issues, so my stomach was not quite right ever. We've talked about this.
We've talked about it.
I still have those medical issues. But yeah, so I go in the woods, I do my business, and I'm looking around, I'm like, fuck. I'm in like the under the canopy where everything's fucking dead. So there's no like leaves or anything. So I'm looking around. I'm like, well, I kind of already shit in my pants a little bit. So there's no hope there. I'm not going to like squish my way through this this Frisbee golf course and back to the car. So I was like, well, we'll just lose the underwear and use that to wipe it, toss it. I come back out. I come crunching my way out of the woods like a big fucking dirty He-Man. And then my best friend's like, so how'd that go? I was like, well, my balls are unrestricted now because I no longer have underwear because they went from Hanes to Charmin real quick. It was like The Pest. Have you ever seen the movie The Pest?
No.
It's John Leguizamo, and he's taking a shit in the woods. And, like, he's like, oh, there's no toilet paper. And he takes his socks off. He's like, at least my socks are cottony soft. That's basically what I did with my butthole and fucking Hanes underwear. Might not have been Hanes. Might have been Fruit of the Loom. Could have been Under Armour. Hopefully it wasn't Under Armour. That shit's expensive.
That's an expensive shit. All right.
It was not armor for anything that day.
Don't say you don't learn anything. Here it goes to the night.
You learn how to wipe your ass with your underwear.
In the woods. All right. Continue.
Okay, so I found this one as an interesting little factotum of this whole situation. Despite the sometimes crazy secluded areas they're found in, there's almost never any overgrowth on the stairs. And like you would expect to find with any type of structure in the woods that would traditionally be taken back by nature, as nature does.
Vines, poison ivy, and weeds pop up all over.
Yeah, because there's nothing to protect it from the elements. There's no, you know what I mean? There's rain, which with rain and forest comes fucking shrubberies. Yes. You must bring us 3 shrubberies. We are the knights that say nee. So, like, to the point that it's said that grass and weeds won't even grow in the immediate area surrounding the stairs. So nothing on the stairs themselves, not always, but nothing on the stairs and nothing in a, I'm sure there's no fucking specific space around it.
Right.
Nothing. Bare, just forest floor. How the fuck does that work?
It's mysterious.
If this shit, obviously we're dwelling within a realm where this is all factual, which you never fucking know. There's multiple. I mean, because there are confirmed just random staircases, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
But that makes no fucking sense.
Right. That would imply something.
Something has something to do. Either somebody is tending to it,
or something supernatural is going on.
Yeah, because nothing stops nature.
No.
Nature do what nature do.
Mother Nature's a bitch.
All the time.
She's going to roll and roll.
Yeah. She's going to do whatever the fuck she wants. I say all the time, one of the scariest things you ever see on video, you know what I think it is?
What?
Well, there's tsunamis and shit, tornadoes and stuff like that. You know what really is, I find fucking terrifying?
What?
Landslides. What the fuck do you do? The earth is just rumbling at you. What are you going to do? Let me climb a tree. It's taking the tree with it, stupid.
I agree with you. I mean, but I put tidal waves or tsunami right there with they're tied 1 and 2.
Oh yeah,
1 and 1.
Like avalanches are scary, but like as we've learned from the great teacher himself, Vincent Diesel, you can outrun it on a Russian snowmobile and then jump that Russian snowmobile off of something and then just hold on to a telephone tower like in Triple X.
Or The Rock, you just get in a boat and drive to it and jump it.
Yeah. I mean, like it. So basically, what we're saying is avalanches are the pussies of natural disasters, followed by volcanoes.
Oh, I take that. There's a 3-way tie. Fuck volcanoes.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that video or that picture where they say they caught the thermal shadow of a shark swimming in a volcano, an active one?
No way.
I mean, it does look like a shark, but there's no way.
Swimming in the lava.
Yeah. It does look like a shark. It's very interesting. But I was like, dude, there's literally no fucking way. Like, we're talking about something that's hot enough to liquefy rock.
Right.
There's no biological mass that has a higher melting point than fucking rocks.
That we know of.
Alien sharks. It's like the tadpole version of a street shark. You remember street sharks back in the day?
No.
90s kids will get it. They're taking
Well,
a bite out.
what,
They're taking a bite out of crime.
I tell you what, if there is a shark swimming around a volcano, where the fuck's Iron Ziering or whatever?
What?
Sharknado. What's the dude from 90210 that was in?
Oh, I don't know.
Ian Ziering or something like that.
Or maybe it's like Shark Boy and Lava Girl got mixed together.
It's a kid.
Sharkava Burl.
There we go. If we crack this fucking case, continue on with
Lavark Goy. That sounds like an insult in a foreign language. Lavark Goy. They'll fuck your mother, Lavark Goy.
Continue with his stairways.
So there's also an abundance of reports of the stairs being carpeted. Oftentimes with white carpet, and they never seem to be dirty or damaged despite being exposed to the elements.
Well, that's bullshit. If it's white carpet, unless it's
if it's any carpet,
white,
even
especially.
black, like black carpet, you're going to be able to see stuff.
Well,
you know what I mean? Dust,
if
wood chips.
White shows dirt like a motherfucker. I have a white truck, and that's why I quit washing it. But rain is going to splash dirt up.
Yeah.
Thunderstorms,
or just the surrounding trees, because you got to think like. I never saw that. That's an interesting thought. I wonder. I never saw any details on whether or not there was a column of like perfection, if you will. Like if it was open, if the canopy above it was open or anything. I never saw any details about that.
Right. Even if there's the rainforest.
Excuse my sniffle.
Has a dense canopy above it. Rain still and water is still going to drip down.
Yeah.
And that water carrying through the trees are going to pick up dirt and hit the white carpet, and it's going to stain.
Right. We've all seen the slow motions on David Attenborough documentaries.
Right.
We know how it works.
So
we've seen fucking Mythbusters.
That would tell me that either is there something supernatural going on, or this all could be bullshit. But I don't know.
Right. So, anyway, now an interesting point to note about this whole phenomena is that despite the fact that they're reported to have been found in multiple places around the world, a vast majority up to this point that is known through the internet and stuff like that, like I said, the majority of everything I found, at least, are reported to be found in the wilderness of America, specifically in the national parks.
Now, I don't know if you're going to get to this. You'll probably have this in your notes, and you're probably going to come to it. If you are, just say we'll talk. I'm getting to that. You've seen the missing 411.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a connection?
I don't know if I've seen, because there's a couple now. I
Oh,
don't know
yeah,
if I've
it's the
seen
same-
the original one,
it's
or
the
if
same guy.
I've seen the original one and I haven't seen the
Yeah.
second one. I don't. Yeah, it's
all the people go. Basically, all the people going missing in the national parks. Is there some kind of tit for tat thing going on here?
Fuck, what's the guy's name? I have it written down.
I did
here
an episode
somewhere.
about him.
Yeah, I have it
last
written
year.
down here somewhere. God damn it. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I forgot about my pre-show.
We'll make it a post show.
It's just a little thing. It's funny.
About this or about something else?
Oh, it's not about this. It is paranormal in a way.
We will throw it in.
Stick around till the end of the episode for some funny ghost hunting shit.
Okay.
It's not long, but it is enjoyable.
All right.
Much like my erections.
Did you say minute and enjoyable?
I said it's not long, but it's enjoyable.
Oh, I thought you said long. And then
No.
once again, sarcasm. That means he doesn't have a big penis.
Whoa. Crazy.
We are the most self-deprecating podcast you will ever find.
Okay, so adding on to that, a lot of their potential reports are coming from people who are involved in search and rescue in the park system.
Which is their job to go out into the uncharted areas.
Holy shit. This shit aside, you want to hear some fucked up shit?
Always.
Read stuff from search and rescue people. They have some of the most fucked stories just because of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw one, the guy that I'll be quoting later. There's one of his stories because he's got like 7 parts on his Reddit about just Like most of them touch on this stuff, but there's just all manner of stories.
Yeah.
Like one's about like them getting a call and showing up, and it's like a dad running up to them to get them, and a mom freaking the fuck out like
Right.
100 yards away, and she's like on her knees cradled over something, and they get there and something like the smallest little normally whatever the fuck thing happened, and their like fucking 15-month-old kid went down like 20 feet of this rocky face and just fractured its skull and just was gone by the time they got there, and they couldn't get the mom wouldn't give it up. She was like, I can help. It's fine. He or she just needs me, blah, blah, blah. Like some of the most fucking heart-wrenching stories I've ever read.
Oh, it'd have to be a horrible job.
Oh, he told one about like an early 20s kid that had Down syndrome.
Ooh.
And he was out there with his mom. That one was fucking. The baby one was also horrible, but like both of those, I was like, Jesus Christ, like how the fuck could you do that job? But then I thought about it. I was like, fuck, you go out. If you lose every 10 or 15, I'm sure it makes it that much more satisfying and makes you feel that much more jovial.
Yeah.
When you can go out and be like, here's your 4-year-old that you lost in the forest and thought you might never see again. You know what I mean? But does that outweigh that one time every year or so that you're like, I hate to break it to you, but the love of your life is past.
The only worst job would be a doctor in one of the children's hospitals.
Oh, I don't know how they do it.
That would be worse. Just for the mere same thing.
Like more power to you. I think you're doing a great thing, but I can't wrap my head around how they do that fucking job.
I mean, but
and I don't even have kids.
Just the sheer numbers of times they have to deal with that,
dude,
compared to somebody in the search and rescue. I mean, they both deal with the same thing. Just a doctor in a children's hospital deals with it daily, every day. I'm sure search and rescue have certain slow times. You know, where they might not go out for a week.
Nobody's out in the fucking park.
To where every day these doctors are waking up.
And then there's it blows me away that there's people out there that could do that.
I mean, I can even watch the commercials, you know, for St. Jude. No, that's the animals.
Okay, the human version of the Sarah McLachlan version,
right? But
movie.
You know, Oh
yeah, because they get me every time. Like if I go to Walgreens is the best. I was gonna say worst, but they're the best because they always have something like the Red Nose Foundation and shit like that. I'm like, yeah, literally, take my money.
Right.
I will not. Like you will never catch me, even if I'm fucking broke and like that's my last dollar. You will never catch me saying no to a St. Jude Foundation or the Red Nose Foundation through Walgreens is cool. Like all that shit. Wow. Even the Ronald McDonald House before that, because didn't that get all fucky and they found out that there was a misappropriation of funds on that?
Probably. I'll tell us. I actually experienced. I was fortunate enough to get to go on a tour of the Shriners Hospital. That was
no thanks.
That was heartbreaking.
Yeah, no thanks.
Fucking heartbreaking.
But at the same time, I would totally do it.
I mean, me at the time, this was probably 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I hadn't shrunk as much, so probably 6'1", 6'2" at that time.
Yeah.
Walked out of that fucking place. Left by myself, walked outside, started bawling.
Oh, I bet.
And because the kids, and what's so fucking awesome about those kids, no matter what, and the Shriners, people who don't know about the Shriners, they do a lot of like burn and deformities, you know, that kind of stuff. And these kids were so freaking
positive,
upbeat.
Yeah.
To where if it was somebody like you or me, an adult,
we'd be like, fucking just pull the plug.
We'd be in the fetal position.
Yeah.
Thinking about how life sucks. But it was empowering and devastating all in the same one.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Watch the movie Patch Adams. That one made me cry the first time I watched
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
That's a true story.
Is it?
Yeah, he like went from a mental hospital to getting into medical school to getting kicked out of medical school to getting allowed back into medical school to starting a nonprofit foundation that grew into like a large facility, and he started it with basically a fucking cabin in the woods that he could afford to buy.
He Unabombered it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, cool.
but like all nonprofit, and like you should watch the movie. It's fucking like that movie made me cry. Yeah. It's Robin Williams. It's fucking great. But yeah, give to St. Jude and all of those children's funds.
All right, let's get on something a little bit more cheering
You want to talk about shitting in the woods again?
No, let's just continue with. I'm about ready to cry. Continue with Stairways to Heaven. See, you're fucking me up. Stairways to Nowhere. These stairs in the middle of the fucking woods.
So now we get to the Reddit part, because these stories were really brought to light on Reddit by a Reddit user named Search and Rescue Woods.
I wonder if
this person only has like 7 posts, and this series at least, or maybe part 1 or something like that, like he has awards.
Really?
Because Reddit has an awards system.
Oh, I don't do Reddit.
I just started it, but Reddit does an awards system for like good writing, reach, shit like that, and his account has multiple awards, and like these stories have like 20,000 upvotes a piece and shit, and it's like a 7-part series where he just tells stories. So a few years ago, he said, and this is all a quote from Search and Rescue Woods, you can try asking about it with other SAR officers, but even if they know what you're talking about, they probably won't say anything about it. Sorry, I fucked that sentence up. They probably won't say anything about it. We've been told not to talk about it by our superiors, and at this point, we've all gotten so used to it that it doesn't even seem weird anymore. On just about every case where we're really far into the wilderness, and I'm talking, this is all quote, I'm talking 30 or 40 miles, at some point we'll find a staircase in the middle of the woods. It's almost like you took the stairs in your house, cut them out, and put them in the forest. I asked about it the first time I saw some, and the other officer just told me not to worry about it, that it was normal. Everyone I asked said the same thing. I wanted to go check them out, but I was told very empathetically that I should never go near any of them. I just sort of ignore them now when I'm, when I run into them, because it happens so frequently.
I'm just responding to Gonzo.
So this Reddit user, he went on to tell a story about being out looking for a 4-year-old child who had gotten separated from their mother when he and his trainer encountered one of these sets of stairs. When he asked his trainer what the fuck these stairs were and why they were out there, she said, and this is also a quote, "Get used to it, rookie. You're going to see a lot of them." Now,
okay. Continue.
Go ahead.
Well, continue. I mean,
okay. So
I'll stop you here in a minute.
Now, when he started to move toward the stairs, the trainer grabbed him by the arm and said, yet another quote from this Reddit, "I wouldn't do that. You're going to see them all the time, but don't go near them. Don't touch them. Don't go up them. Just ignore them." And he goes on to say that he encounters this phenomena about every 5th call that he goes out on.
Okay, did he...
Perfect, I have an LTAT right there.
Did he elaborate on this story? Did when his...
There's
trainer...
what's the word? I paraphrased
right.
a little bit. I took direct quotes, but all these stories are, like I said, there's 7 or 8 parts, and they're all so long, and they're also intermingled with other stories.
Yeah.
I do have more from it.
But my point is, when this female trainer said to him, just ignore it, don't worry about it, don't go up and whatever, did he not ask why?
From what I read them, and it does get into, there's some other stuff, some inklings as to the why you don't do it, why you don't purposely go out of your way to encounter these stairs.
Yeah. Because
supposedly, which we'll get to later, there are repercussions to contacting the stairs.
My point is, if you are training me, we are search and rescue. We are out, we come across one of these lovely stairs in the middle of the fucking woods. Nothing around it. Pristine condition. I got some fucking questions.
Well, Well, and yes, and from what I read from this person specifically, he asked multiple people over his career.
Yeah.
And every time he got that response. He said, every time you're going to see him, don't fuck with them.
Now,
and then I guess on top of that, it's just kind of a don't ask, don't tell. It is what it is. We know about it. We don't fuck with it.
well, I would.
It's a no. It's like Game of Thrones. It is known.
I would expect this kind of philosophy if they were talking about glory holes in the break room. Don't ask, don't tell.
Well, and we're talking like with these kind of people, we're talking, there's a lot of shit like this out there. Like the Wind River turnaround or something like that. It's in some I can't remember the name of the tribe, but it's in some Native American land in a national park where I guess it's not uncommon to just like you just kind of go out and you'll find yourself like across the river and up a cliff from your group of camping mates and shit like that. And you don't know how you got there. Like there's multiple reports of it. Like
Yeah.
I guess there's just shit that goes on in these forests around the world that it's just an understood fact by these people that do these jobs, and it is what it is. We don't talk about it. We don't poke the bear. Move on.
I just wonder how many of these are. Some of these, it's like anything else in the paranormal, in UFOs and shit like that. Some of them probably can be explained away as remnants. There has to be.
We'll get to that.
Okay.
Like I do touch on that towards the end.
Go ahead, continue.
So this Redditor also shares a story about his buddy who was part of a search and rescue effort to find a little girl. He strayed away from his group and encountered a perfect and pristine staircase off to one side of him. He approached the stairs and he decided to climb them. I have a let's talk about that star next to that, because let's all just imagine that we're living in a world. Yeah, there we go. Gregory in the live chat in Wyoming. Yes. He knows about the Wind River turnaround.
Well,
it's a thing.
Gregory is on it.
Yeah, it was on Coast to Coast AM. Somebody was talking about it at one point. I guess that's where it like popped off, that like it became a thing that people recognized or talked about. But I have a let's talk about that star next to this, because this guy's buddy is out looking for a little girl, strays away from the group, sees one of these staircases, and from my understanding up to this point, it is a known fact amongst search and rescue and the employees of the parks system,
Park rangers.
Yeah, whatever, that they are out there and that you don't fuck with them. So if I'm doing a job, and I say I'm doing this job for 10 years, and I encounter this on a somewhat regular basis, and everybody that is higher up or superior in rank to me the whole time that I'm going through this tells me you don't venture. That's a no-go. We don't do things. We don't touch them. We don't go near them. Are we, by doing that, and I understand the curiosity side of it, but if you have everybody that you've worked with while you do this job telling you not to fuck with these things, do you think it's just completely throwing caution to the wind? If that, I don't even think that's the right term, but like, is that just like, it seems like it's how curiosity killed the cat. Like I feel like if everybody tells me not to do something, I'm not going to do it.
See, you don't have kids, so once you have kids, I'm this way. You tell me not to do something,
I am too, but
I want to do it.
I am too, but if I'm doing something and I'm around people that know more than me, and all of them say the same thing, like it just seems very haphazard.
Where's your sense of fucking excitement and adventure there?
Oh, don't get me wrong. I would do it. But I'm not a search and rescue officer.
That's true.
I don't have anybody directly telling me not to do it. But at the same time, I think it would depend on the situation. If I saw some stairs that looked perfect and not dirty or overgrown or anything like that, yeah, at that point I might be like, this seems, if nothing else, it seems like a fucking trap. Because that's another thought that crossed my mind is when you drop something that curious in a place that it's not supposed to be, that's how you end up in a net hanging from a tree with some fucking pig squealing guy. Fucking just
poor Ned Beatty.
You know what I mean? Like, that's where my mind goes. Is like it something like that. Something as curious and as unexplainable as that. Could I resist the curiosity and the wonder of going and fucking touching it or trying to go up the stairs? I don't know. But in the back of my mind the whole time, I would be thinking like, my mind would be telling me like nothing good is going to come from this situation, but let's find out anyway.
Right. I mean, if I came across one of these, not even just say I'm hiking, say I'm Bigfoot hunting and in the woods and I come across a staircase, pristine condition, I probably wouldn't even think let's walk up. Let's see what this is. I'd probably walk on it and probably be transported to another dimension, or maybe they're a Stargate.
Could be.
And transport me to another planet.
Maybe. It's an interesting thought.
But I would do it.
We'll get into that as well.
I would do it, but I'm also an idiot.
Yeah, we don't give a fuck.
Now, like you were saying, if somebody, coworkers, and you're encountering these all the time, I would be hard pressed not to do it, even if.
Just because of who you are.
Even if I'd be, well, of course. Now, let me rephrase that. Right now, if say I started working tomorrow for the search and rescue,
everybody's fucked.
You're all dying, bitches.
That'd be like me. That'd be like them hiring me to be the head of like the censorship agency for TV.
It'd be like I walk into the woods. You there? Walk back, sit in the truck. I ain't here. I'm taking a nap.
Jim. Oh, fuck it. You want Chick-fil-A?
No, but if
we're 60 miles from Chick-fil-A. Yeah, well, we're supposed to be on search and rescue. It's not like anybody's going to question why we're gone for so long. And there we go with a spam message. I've been missing them.
As long as we get there before Sunday, who gives a fuck how far it is?
We'll get an extra sandwich in case we run into the kid.
We're thinking, preparing for it.
Take the stick out of your ass, Tom.
But I would say, at my age now, I might be a little, this situation, and I'm working for these people, and I probably wouldn't do it, but say I'm 24, 25.
Or even my age. But see, and that's my thing is, I'm thinking like these guys, because a lot of these stories have to do with a trainer and being involved. So if you're young and you've got people, if I'm me and I've got somebody your age that's been doing this since you were my age, saying, don't fucking touch them. At that point, I'm going to look at that person and be like, this motherfucker is serious.
But I'm skeptical anyway.
I'd be hard pressed to at least not like throw a stick at it and see if it like just bursts into flames.
My first initial thought, if somebody would say that to me, is like, okay, are we going snipe hunting next? I mean, come on now. You guys know what these are. You're just fucking with me now. That would be my first inclination, just for
see. And that's my thing is like, is the story or the quote that I was just talking about with the original Redditor. That's where it gets twisty.
Mm-hmm.
Is the fact that when he started to approach it, he said that his trainer, she grabbed his arm, and her hold was firm, but her face was almost like, how did he put it? Like almost indifferent.
Yeah.
Where it was like, you didn't see fear, but you didn't see a questioning of oneself saying no. It was just kind of no do that.
No. This is no spot.
This is no. No, do not touch me there. These are my no squares. Let's get back into the action. So, this person, he decided to climb the stairs. He reached to the top of the stairs without incidents, and he said that when he was up there, he just felt like he was doing something wrong.
Okay.
One of the examples that was in the story was, he said it was as if you found yourself in the middle of a government building that you know you're not supposed to be in, especially not in that area of it.
Right, yeah. I mean, I kind of, or if you're working at a base in a secure area,
yeah,
that you know you don't have clearance for or whatever.
Yeah, like you just know something bad's going to happen if you get caught here.
Right.
So, and then while he was up there dealing with this questioning of morality, if you will, he notices that he can't hear. He can't hear normal sounds of the forest. He can't hear his own breathing. He can hear nothing.
Wait a minute. So, at the bottom of the stairs, before he made the jaunt up them, normal sounds, birds chirping, squirrels fucking. He walks up the
Sasquatch jerking off, watching the squirrels fuck.
He walks up the stairs, and all of a sudden he's deaf.
Literally nothing. Can't hear his own breathing. Can't hear like his heartbeat. Like, you know how like when you're like this, you can kind of hear that of your heart. Like nothing. Yeah.
Very interesting.
So when he came back down the stairs after a few moments and he rejoined his group, now this is where it gets shifty. Later on, after all this, after they had gone back to, I don't know, whatever fucking log cabin is home base for them, another officer approached him, and this officer seemed really pissed.
Okay.
And this officer approached him and just looked at him and said, "You went up them, didn't you?" Now, when he asked how he knew, the officer, who was his trainer as well, shook his head and said, "Because we didn't find her, the dogs lost the scent."
So, wait a minute.
This is where we're getting into the repercussions of fucking with these stairs.
So, this
possible repercussions.
This person went up the stairs. They were on the hunt. They were looking for a child.
Yes.
This guy stumbles onto the stairs. He finally says, "You know what? Screw it. I'm going up. Yeah. Maybe I can get a better vantage point. I can see something a little bit better."
Right. It's a free ladder.
Yes. And now they are saying his trainer, his powers that be, what?
You were coming in a little hot there for a second.
It's all right, baby. I'm coming in hot. Fuck it.
I mean, you're always the quiet one anyway. Go on.
Well, I'm trying to enunciate. All right.
Like the fat guy from Mr. Deeds.
Yes.
He said, "Well, on behalf of the opera, I want to say, I think I just shot myself." Fucking great movie. Nobody talks about.
The repercussions of
French fries and Oreos. My favorite.
The repercussions of going up these stairs, if you're on the hunt for, or searching, I hate to say use on the hunt, but you're searching these.
Check out the On the Hunt episodes.
Yes, sidebar. We were talking about, we'll like do an episode where we review, play one of those.
Oh, okay.
And we'll just discuss it.
That's cool. We can do that. It's our content.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yes.
I think that'll be like maybe the next shit show. We'll schedule it in tonight after this episode.
Okay.
When we schedule our next episode. But
yeah,
anyway,
we need. I want to get like at least 4 episodes out tonight or tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Like
figured
out from this point. Yeah.
Well, we know what we're doing next week, but
butt stuff.
That's the after party. And maybe the pre-show too. Who fucking knows?
Stinky boy.
But so the repercussions of this, now they're not going to be able to find this child, or they lost the scent.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, did the guy give any reason to why this, or do you know why, or okay?
It's like I said. I guess it's just an unspoken thing.
This is like having sex with a woman with small tits.
You're
so disappointed. It seems, I'm not fulfilled.
Well, it seems very conspiratorial.
I figured I'd piss off.
Not even. I don't want to say conspiratorial. Just insider knowledge.
I just want to say I'm sorry for all the small itty bitty titty.
We respect and love the itty bitty titty committee.
Yes, it was a joke. Lighten the fuck up.
If it makes you feel any better next week, I'll sing "I don't want no short dick man."
All right. Okay. So there's no reason for this that we know of. It's just the way it is. It is what it is.
In my mind, it plays out like a movie scene, which makes it much more dramatic. Like he just walks in the door and this guy's like, "You went up them, didn't you?" Like, "Yeah. How'd you know?" "Because we didn't find her. The dogs lost the goddamn scent, Jim, and it's your fault. I hope you burn in hell." And then Vince McMahon comes out with a fucking Dudley Do-Right hat, and he's like, "You're fired."
That's funny.
Gotta have a wrestling reference. So we move on to yet another story about a search and rescue for a young boy that culminated in the boy being found at the bottom of one of these staircases dead. There was no blood around him except for some blood coming out of his mouth. And when the body was examined by medical examiners, it was found that the organs in this little boy, except for his heart and lungs, were like Swiss cheese. And it was determined that the cause of death was massive internal bleeding, despite there not being noticeable cuts or abrasions. He said in the Reddit post, as if somebody had went through and hole punched quarter-sized holes out of this kid's organs.
Now we're definitely getting to supernatural range.
And he also said it was, as far as to help you imagine it, he said it was like a guy that he said, what was it? Like the closest thing he could compare it to visually was a guy that like filled himself with birdshot or buckshot. Just
crazy shit.
Yeah,
I mean,
but like I said, from what he was saying, other than a little bit of blood coming out of the kid's mouth, there was no visual evidence of any type of trauma. Yeah.
That's weird. I mean,
right? how do you fucking explain it? Exactly? If that's true, like what the fuck?
If it's all on the up and up, there is no explanation that I can possibly.
Right? What do you have? Like the hungriest hippo of a tapeworm ever imaginable?
That is a possibility, I would guess. But Jesus,
and then it crawled out his mouth, and that's why the blood.
Very possible.
I'm not making light of this if this is a true story. But, like, how the fuck? What the fuck? Like, I don't think there's a disease that just puts holes in your organs. In multiple organs, at least.
No, I mean, I'm at a loss for this one.
Yeah.
That's why I always say there's things in this world we don't understand.
Right, like, what the fuck? Like fuck cattle mutilations. What about this shit? So, yeah, there's that one. I found that one interesting. So, oh, and then little thrown in point, upside down stairs. There's apparently upside down stairs too.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. I don't know know if it's a reverse thing with what happens if you climb down them. but apparently there's upside down stairs as well. Oh, there it is. David Politis. That's who you were looking for.
Yeah, the 411 guy.
Because this Redditor actually said that somebody, after he posted the first one, somebody was like, "Oh, this sounds a lot like some David Politis shit," and he was like, "I like David Politis. He's part of the reason why I came here because I didn't know where else to tell these stories, and I can confirm that some of the shit that David Politis talks about is a real fucking thing."
Well, yeah, more people go missing in national parks than anywhere else.
Now, could it be the feral people?
Or could it be government experimentation? You know,
that's a whole nother thing. It's
or
with the feral people,
or Bigfoot, or feral people, or
and then the feral people fucking gets looped into possible Bigfoot explanation.
Right. I mean, there's a whole, or maybe it could be vampires, which we will get into next week. I mean, there is an abundance of reasons. I mean, it's the vastness of the wooded area or these national parks. Did they fall down a cliff and just haven't been found yet? And then, who the fuck knows? But there's definitely something weird going on in the natural parks.
Yeah, Yeah, we're wrapping this one up pretty quick. I only got like 2.5 more pages.
Oh shit.
But this one I feel like we could talk about for a minute.
Okay.
So this occurred in the Philippines. A park ranger in the Philippines lost his job after he was out on a recon mission and he climbed a set of stairs that he found and he was supposedly fleeing a rabid dog. Which I was like, why the fuck would there be a rabid dog in the middle of the woods? And I was like, wait, it's the Philippines. That kind of makes sense, I guess.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, that's not overly over the top crazy, but yes.
Now, he lost his job over this because while he had only been on the stairs for a few minutes, in his mind at least.
Wait, they fired him because he was on the stairs?
Wait.
Oh, okay.
They basically fired him because he was a no-call, no-show. Because he went up there for a couple minutes, and when he returned to his station, he then found out that since he had left and gone out on patrol, it had been 5 years.
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
That's the report.
No.
He lost 5 years in the moments that he was on top of these stairs.
Oh, okay. Now,
LTAT.
Listen, I'm all for the paranormal, for supernatural. I think, like I stated just moments ago, there are things in this world we don't understand. Not to steal from Ghostbusters.
I was about to say, there are things in this world we will never understand. Understand.
And there are things going on that science has not, we don't have the science for yet.
Yeah.
But being on the stairs or going into the woods and you think it's just minutes and 5 years has gone past. Now, if you said an hour or two, I get it. I would say, okay, yeah, that's possible. Now, it still could be the time warp type thing, or it could be you passed out. Hell, I've been driving and just getting in my own thoughts. And, but 5 fucking years.
Well, okay, so I've got about a page left, so let's blow through this research, and then we'll circle back to all of that.
And where was this on Reddit?
Because that's all culminating thoughts.
But was this on Reddit?
No, this was a different. Okay. I got this from a different source.
Oh,
and then from a different source. This one, not a whole lot of info on, but 2 men in Sweden climbed a set of steps. Which they said ladder, but you could tell that this was either an article translated into English or it was written by somebody whose first language is not English. You could tell by the grammar and everything like that. So I'm assuming there was just a mistranslation within that. So I guess these 2 guys climbed this stairway, and one of them was touched, and when he turned around thinking it was just his buddy was too far away to touch him, and they then found out that at one point a woman who also supposedly climbed those steps died like halfway up them from a brain aneurysm. That's kind of the whole gist of that story.
I mean,
so a stairway to nowhere mixed with a residual haunting potentially.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it will be one hell of a quinky dink, but
yeah. So then I threw this in just because for some of the famous stairs to nowhere that do exist, that we know of, you can like Google them and shit, are at the Pyramid of Bamarzo or Phnom Kulin in Cambodia. Yeah. So you can Google those. I threw those in there just because they're Googleable and you can see them. Now, with all this, there's consistent weirdness surrounding these stairs, like bad feelings of like dread and foreboding, and feelings of impending doom.
Yeah, but let's be honest, that could be just you find stairs, and
Yeah, like I'm automatically gonna be like, I peeked like a motherfucker. Yeah. I'm automatically gonna see those stairs and be like, I might go up them, but something tells me that this whole situation, something is going to go wrong.
It would definitely,
even if I just like sprain my ankle coming down.
It would definitely cause some ass puckering. No, yes. For sure.
Now that being said, it is said that bad luck, fear, and bad things are happening to people following an encounter with these stairs, especially when the stairs are touched or ascended.
So obviously, I've found some of these stairs at some point in my life and walked up them and don't have any recollection.
Yeah. And
whatever.
I come back to the fact that there's multiple places around the world that these reports are happening, but the vast majority of them seem to occur in the national parks of the United States. Like a considerably higher percentage than anywhere else in the world at any time. More frequent, all that shit. So there's that. We're going to come back to that. So, which I find odd, like, by no means does the United States park system have the biggest chunk of remaining wilderness at any time. Canada, leaps and bounds more wild terrain.
Right.
Russia, Mongolia. Mongolia is like one of the most sparsely populated countries for its size in the world. Now, I will say Mongolia, they run the gambit of terrains. I mean, fuck, you can see grasslands and then run into from grasslands to like a fjord, basically, and then be in a fucking desert.
Yeah.
In
They hit
Cambodia.
everything.
Yeah.
They got everything possible.
Yes. Now, obviously, there's probably countless amounts of these stairs and stairways around the world that can be easily explained as just ruins of a time or a dwelling or a civilization from a time long since past. That's definitely a thing.
A possibility.
100%.
But we can't account for all of them.
Yeah, well, I wrote there's confirmed stairs and forests around the world that we know without a doubt are remnants of the past and past human civilizations, from the Mayans, the Egyptians, the ancient houses of China, Druid or pagan ruins in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Those are fucking everywhere. Or even like Germanic tribe shit. Etc. Take a pick. Take a fucking area of the world and take a local religion or sect or peoples, and there's gonna probably be some leftover shit.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be ruins.
Yes, so I would say if somebody was like, oh, look at that, some historian would just be like, fuck off. That's fucking Inuakataktitindaschnafniknasne, the ancient city of the gods. So I come to my final thought of, is this all just bullshit from the World Wide Web, or is there something going on tens of miles out in the wilderness around the world that has yet to be explained or legitimized? Which, let me flip my page back to my paranormal possibilities that are all obvious, I think. Could it be a dimensional portal?
Very well.
What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to relate it to the UFO phenomenon.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have UFO and aliens in there too.
We know for a fact that a majority, I would venture to say 95% of all UFO sightings is actually some sort of government craft or whatever,
mm-hmm.
or government event, whatever, depending on what kind of sighting it is, that is technology we just don't know about. With these stairways to nowhere, I would say a majority of them, there is definitely a plausible explanation, such as ruins or what practical jokers, or some hillbilly getting drunk saying, let's build a stair.
Right.
But in some, I can't say it's 100% that's there.
Well, that's the weird part too, is like any reports that you find, they're not like janky thrown together shit. You know what I mean? Like they're actual stairways.
I mean, but
some of them are made out of fucking like stone and concrete.
Which past civilizations, stone and stuff like that. That would make sense to me as being some sort of marker or some sort of remnants of some kind of ancient structure. Because, like I told you, we've talked about this. I've expressed this on the podcast. I firmly believe that civilization has been recycled.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think.
Well, even if it hasn't, just like what we actually know from our history right now, yeah, there's definitely stairs out there.
Right.
But I mean? Like you can see them all the time. You can Google it right now, and there's just fucking stairs in the woods because people used to live there and they needed to get from fucking point A to point B.
When you start talking things deep in the woods,
deep,
and they look like they're brand new.
Yeah. Like,
And
I'm talking, like, there was, like, the guy from Reddit has said that he's seen them all the way from, like, just kind of shitty, beat up ones all the way up to, like a spiral staircase that looked like it got pulled straight out of a fucking lighthouse.
Or, but...
And that's, I read multiple things about some sort or some form of a spiral staircase or something resembling it. That's even more weird, because a spiral staircase
needs support.
Structurally does not work unless it has something that it's connected or bound to at the top end of it.
I'm no engineer, but
it's gonna fall.
It needs support.
Yeah. Now, a regular staircase, like, you have, you know what I mean, just like in your house, there's fucking walls beneath it.
Yeah, there's
structure underneath it.
It's basically a big triangle.
Yeah.
I see. But when we talk about things such as, pristine condition, you have to take somebody's word for they've seen it over the years and nothing, it's never been.
Well, that's the thing is supposedly you don't, like, if you go back to the same spot.
They're gone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That I was not aware of. But
I don't know that that's entirely true all the time, but I also, from what I understand, is, like, once you go to these places, you just accept that it, like, if you have it marked on GPS or something like that, you just accept that that's there and you kind of go around it. Whether it's there or not, we don't know. But I did read that some of them are there sometimes they're there once,
I will say that
I never heard anything about the same staircase appearing in two different places.
I will say that fact makes it a little convenient.
Oh yeah.
To being
a hoax.
And just an internet
or
story.
Just to play devil's advocate, it also could be the dimensional or the UFO, which then you could tie into the Bigfoot thing. Because, I mean, if you're a being from another dimension that wants to try to encounter somebody from this world in this dimension, why would you not put something that they can familiarize with, something they've seen regularly in their life?
What about this? And we've talked about this in the Slender Man episode.
A Tulpa effect?
A Tulpa effect. This got its start on the internet, on Reddit, as maybe a joke.
Mm-hmm. And it wasn't that long ago. It was 6 or 7 years ago.
And possibly all that energy and people read, just like how Slender Man became a thing. There are those people that believe, go watch our Slender Man episode, that all the energy that was put into the readers or the people reading it, all the energy that was put into the atmosphere in the world, actually,
I always forget that fucking bottle's right there.
Brought Slender Man to life. Could this be the same effect? I mean, or the same thing? I don't know. I think it would be a great story. And
it potentially at that point is not a story from these people, because as we talked about in the Slender Man episode, and pretty much myself and yourself and anybody that's really talked about this, when you talk about the Tulpa effect, when you think it's real and something is really happening and it's really within your world and you don't have disbelief in it, at that point it becomes reality.
Right.
It is your reality.
Right. Just like we can use Slender Man again.
It's just like mental illness.
Right.
I can look at a severely schizophrenic person and say, those voices aren't there, bud. But to them, those voices are there, and that is the reality within which they live. So it is real to them, no matter what the outside world says or thinks about it.
Now, what about this? I think...
I love how we go from, like, fucking talking about shitting in the woods to actually having intelligent conversation.
Well, there's some believers that is nowhere near intelligent anyway, but...
Or at least sounding intelligent.
What about this? I'm pretty sure you and I have discussed this. One explanation for the paranormal is, I know we have, but I'll rehash it for you folks at home. All paranormal activity isn't necessarily, a place isn't haunted. The person that goes there combines with the energy, and they imprint that activity.
I posted that on Instagram.
Right.
It's not always the place or the location or the thing. A lot of times it's the person.
And people talk about this philosophy a lot with poltergeist, to where, it is an adolescent female going through puberty, starts moving shit.
Yeah.
The Carrie, Stephen King's The Carrie. Could this
just give the girl a goddamn prom queen crown? Jesus
Christ.
Fuck.
But could this be the same thing? These stairs pop up, and this could explain why they're random and why they might not always be in the same place, or could be there and not be there next time. It's the person going there in their frame of mind, putting energy into the atmosphere, for lack of a better word, and creating it. Their own mind is projecting that there, and they are seeing it.
Yeah.
Now, the contradiction to this is the first guy's story, Search and Rescue Woods, or whatever his name was on Reddit. The odds of that happening and the other people seeing it, that's a strong motherfucker. But like I said, I've talked about it. Sometimes the paranormal activity, some of these teams find in haunted locations, could be one of those people projecting it into the...
Well, and then it brings us to... And again, we're dwelling in a realm where we're I don't want to say accepting these stories as true, but we're living in the world where we're putting ourselves in the realm where these stories are true.
Right.
So you talk about that one. The one that's more... If we're in that realm, in that world, that is vastly more compelling to me, is when they found the body of the boy that they were looking for at the bottom of the stairs. Right. One person does not find a human body and remain solely the one person with that human body on a search and rescue mission.
Right.
You call it in, and I would imagine that at least the immediate team members anywhere near you is going to rush to that location, because they're out there doing the same thing as you. Even if it's a dead body, which nobody wants to find, that would just assume that is the bottom of their to-do list when they're on a mission, is to find a dead body. But I would imagine that if you're anywhere feasibly close to that location that you can get to it, I would imagine you're going to go to it. Because even if that little boy is dead, you're at least going to get the closure of being like, well, I put in my hours, and at least we found something for the family. They can have some kind of, just like the family gets closure from you giving them their loved one to bury and mourn, you would, I would assume, also want the closure of being like, well, at least now I know. There it is.
Yeah, you have closure.
So that was the one where I was like, so you would assume that there's potentially dozens of people at this location going, oh, you shouldn't have gone up the stairs, kid. Sorry. You know what I mean?
It all might be bullshit, but if you take it for what it is, there has to be some kind of, and I always say this, right?
Pardon my cramp.
There's the truth. There's two sides to every story, and the answer is always in the middle. Now, are these complete bullshit, or are these a paranormal, supernatural gateway to hell? The opening of hell,
and will we ever actually know?
I don't know. I think the answer is always somewhere in the middle, just like conspiracy. There's no such thing as... There is some truth to all kinds of conspiracies.
Didn't even think about this.
Well, go ahead.
What's the possibilities or the odds or even just the inkling of a thought? What if these are actually... What's up, Tyler? What if these are actual stairways that are being encountered? Now, do away with the pristine condition ones in this particular scenario. Or even take those into account. What are your thoughts on maybe these are really out there and there is some type of a curse on this structure?
Which
especially is a thought with, if you believe in this shit, with the more dilapidated, possibly ancient structures of stairways that we could be found out there.
Right.
Because there's plenty of ruins out there that like local people will say like no do that. You not go there, bad thing a happen. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you could dive down into where, geomagnetic ley lines. Where are these found on power? The ley lines,
like natural electromagnetic
lines,
fields and magnetic fields that could be fucking with your head and your body at some point.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a fact that EMF does affect you. So some people are more affected than others. I don't know. I mean, this is one. The answers. There are no good answers, only good questions on this one.
Right.
I mean, it could be a vast majority of things. It could be bullshit, like we said. It could be a mixture of just ancient ruins. But when you throw, and like the child who, was ate up inside, had holes all inside, but no exterior wounds.
Because from what I read from that, they weren't rough holes. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like jagged edge, like something had ripped through them. Oh. Like the description said, it was like somebody used a hole punch to punch quarter-sized holes out of all the organs in this kid's body except for his heart and lungs.
I mean, if you take
which is another thing that makes it even stranger. Sorry to cut you off, but is the fact that it's every organ except essentially the two most important ones. Like all organs are important, but I mean, if you don't have lungs or a heart, there is no basis.
Right. And
what the fuck is the point of having your liver and your kidneys and shit if you don't have lungs and you don't have a heart?
Right.
And you're not hooked up to a medical apparatus.
There is a legitimate big. We both are skeptical when it comes to supernatural and paranormal.
Yeah.
You are probably a little bit more skeptical than I am, but I still
I think that just kind of has it sets on the line of the difference between you and I, where we see eye to eye on so many things, but we see eye to eye on the shit that you and I in our experiences we can't deny. Whereas you look at things from a maybe, probably not, and I come. Not that I have a science background, but being that I am a nerd and I like to look into things from a scientific background, you know what I mean? Like that's where I think you and I get a lot of good bouncing off of one another, because you'll be like, well, so and so has experienced this and they've been documented on it, and I'm like, well, Albert Einstein said you're wrong. You know what I mean?
I mean, whenever we're talking supernatural paranormal, I'm a believer there are definitely things out there we don't understand. There is something to the spirit world. Now, whether that's a combination of what we think it is today and science, that's where I think it leads. I think eventually science will prove all of these phenomenon to a certain extent. But even when I experience anything weird or anything today, I try to look at the scientific, but I come at it skeptical. We get those people that something that was a fucking ghost. That little knock was a ghost, even though they probably saw me just hit the fucking table.
Right.
I try to be more skeptical. It could be, not be. I try to walk that line. But my first inclination with this topic, I want to say bullshit.
Yeah.
I want to say,
until I see it with my own eyes, it's just a fantastic what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a good creepy
exaggerated story. Yeah, it's just an interesting thing that's out there in the world that theoretically, logically, no, it's not a thing. But we're both the type, like we've been talking about for the last 3 minutes, we're both the type where I'm never going to 100% rule anything out.
Right, because
you never fucking know.
Science does not explain everything.
There could literally be a dimensional species out there that has, or there, I mean, there's probably multiple if the dimensional theory is correct, but there very well could be a something somewhere that is just popping up, and they're going, well, let's give them something that they recognize, and that would lead them to the point where we have a portal between our dimensions. And what better way than to go, oh, humans have stairs, they all know stairs, and they have curiosity, so let's put stairs, something that they know to climb to get to a point B in the middle of nowhere, that just happens to house the wormhole or whatever the fuck is the interdimensional gateway to where we're at.
Maybe Robert Plant had it right. Maybe they are the stairway to heaven. And, if you're not worthy, you go deaf.
Yeah, I guess.
I have no doubt there are actual stairways left in the woods somewhere.
Yeah, that's confirmed fact.
There's no doubt this is very plausible. It is a confirmed fact. There are.
I mean, the pyramids of Giza are essentially just big ass fucking stairs.
Right.
They come to a point.
And there is a chance, the earth, ancient structures, the earth will destroy them and take, like we said earlier, take them over. Just like the lost city of gold. What's the name of the city in, was it Peru? Or
El Dorado?
Well, yeah, I think that's it. It was a real city that the jungle took back over.
Oh, I don't know if that city, Machu Picchu?
No, it hasn't been. I don't think they've ever discovered it.
Oh, it's probably El Dorado that you're thinking of.
Yeah, they know it existed.
Yeah,
but nobody knows where it is because it didn't disappear off the fucking face of the earth. No. Now, I'm sure a lot of the buildings have crumbled and made out of stone.
Yeah, like we might just not even physically be able to tell that it was a structure.
There are many,
especially in an area like that where you have massive downpours of rains for months at a time that naturally erodes stone, which is what they're going to be using at the time is stone.
And the vegetation took it over. And
which is
someday we'll find.
That's what nature does. Like when we all are dead and gone, like I say it all the time. Everybody makes a big deal about saving all the animals. Nah, man, animals go extinct. So first off, we can't stop that anyway. One way or the other, it's gonna happen. And fucking two, when we're all dead and gone, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen? It's just gonna be like I Am Legend. Everything's going to start to crumble over the years, and there's going to be fucking deer running around Manhattan like they were before. There's going to be fucking coyotes taking shits in the middle of what used to be somebody's fucking living room.
Right. I know. So I just don't. It's a great story. There might be something to it. Maybe. I want to believe that everything we've talked about this evening is 100% true.
Or that there's at least some inkling of truth to
there
them.
is some kind of supernatural, paranormal type things going on with these stairs. I want to believe. But.
Good job, Mulder.
Well, I want to believe. But it's just, this one's hard to swallow for me.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And it does show a bias of some of these internet forums. People are just looking for a chance to make their mark or to get famous or whatever.
Yeah.
These are nice horror stories, campfire stories that, which inevitably become urban legends.
Yeah.
So.
Which, again, when you're talking about something becoming what you would call an urban legend, it's circling straight back to essentially a tulpa.
Right. Now,
because there's a reason why kids are scared of the man with the hook and fucking the boogeyman and shit like that. Like,
and if it's
when you talk about it for 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 1,000 years, in some way, shape, or form, at least in especially a young, or not to be, I hope this isn't offensive, but in a young or a simple-minded person,
an immature person,
yes,
the world.
Yes.
Not immature as in just in life experience. Lacks life experience.
Yeah, like it. Yeah, then at that point you're dealing with a, we'll say, perceived reality.
Right. Now, it doesn't make that reality any less valid because that's how you perceive.
It could be it might be invalid to us, but who are we to invalidate somebody else for what they really believe is going on?
Right.
It's just like I said earlier. Like you're not going to catch me invalidating the feelings or the emotions of a advanced schizophrenic or somebody with like some terrible multiple personality disorder, because yeah, I can sit there and be like, you're nuts, Karen. But to Karen, all this shit is 100% real 24/7. And that's how stuff like this becomes like I said, a perceived or chosen even reality. If you accept the word of these Redditors and shit like that, the people that talk about this stuff, as the word of God, even in your mind, if you never see it, it's really out there.
If a tree falls in the wood, doesn't make a sound. If nobody's there to hear it.
If a fucking low-end podcast co-host takes a shit in the woods and leaves his Hanes boxer briefs there,
did he shit in the woods?
Do the Hanes boxer briefs get up and walk away? Do they walk up the stairs?
I think the woods took them over.
Or maybe somebody took them up the stairs, and those boxer briefs were never meant to be found again.
That's very true. Let's just hope they weren't. What was it? Under Armour or Top?
I hope they weren't Under Armour, because them motherfuckers are expensive.
Oh.
If they were Under Armour, I'm sure I would have just flapped the shit out of them and fucking put them in my pocket and been like, "Car ride home's gonna suck. Deal with it."
You know, did you, in your research of this, did you find any ancient stories of this? You know, ancient, like the Indian or Native Americans?
Not really.
So this is pretty much an internet. If I would feel much better about this whole thing if there was some actual
the few things that I saw were like I saw some things that reference to stuff like this,
right.
But all the ones that I saw were lore, if you will. It was always, the tale of this long defunct god or hero of this civilization approached this but
right.
then it turns into basically basically turns into that version of like a Norse thing, like Odin gave his eye to see blah blah blah, you know what I mean? It's kind of like that. Yep. Which me personally, we all know my belief system. I can't lend any credence to any of that.
But
even though I will say the Norse gods make more sense to me than most
there's
theistic belief systems.
Well, if you put all the gods on parallel and look at them, they're all the fucking same thing. They're all talking about the same thing.
Oh yeah, the only thing I've always found interesting about the Norse gods and because really the Norse gods, if you will, are like they come from, which a lot of people don't know, like Vikings and everything. All of that culture actually stems originally from Germanic tribes in Central Europe that spread out. But the only thing that I've always found interesting about that whole theistic thought process, as far as that specific culture and belief system, is how they make it to where their gods are always present in a way that you can put a tangible thing to it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, like Christianity and Catholicism, it's just like, nope, he's always there. He's always watching. He's like Santa Claus. Santa Claus is God. Santa Claus for God 2022.
For God.
Never forget.
Never forget. I would put more credit. Let me compare this to Bigfoot.
Big Feet. Sam Squamch. The Yeti. The skunk ape. The grass man.
Now, I give
King
that
Kong Bundy.
God rest his soul. Or he is. Yeah, he is dead.
I'm not to sound like
No,
a dick,
man.
but I would almost hope so. If that man isn't dead and some of the people that have died are dead, I need some explanation. If he's not dead and fucking what's his face from the Rolling Stones is still alive,
That's a whole.
that's a conspiracy theory.
They're
right there.
vampires. I'm convinced they're vampires.
The fuck?
Rolling
How many
Stone-
how many fucking people was King Kong Bundy draining on a regular basis then?
Big boy need to eat.
Did he move to China?
Yeah. But let me compare this type, these stairways to nowhere to Bigfoot for a minute. I would feel much more comfortable with stairways to nowhere if it was more like Bigfoot, to where it is throughout culture, throughout history. The Native Americans talked about it. They're in there.
Now we can come back to this on a later episode. We know as much as I come off as a half-assed douche sometimes, like I do have a penchant for the deep dive on certain things. I'll crack some shit open and I'm sure I can find some type of reference to a phenomena like this in some type of a historical facet.
Well, like what I'm saying is more of there's some kind of documentation from our ancestors, like the Native Americans or ancient Greek or
which brings me to another thought,
of the supernatural portion of this story.
Which brings me to another thought that I haven't had until this point, and you brought it up. What if the mentions of other objects from the past with the Native Americans and other tribes and cultures, what if it's just an evolving thing? What if there is something bigger or otherworldly controlling this whole thing, and they're just evolving their representation of whatever these stairs or whatever they may have been in the past? They're evolving that with the cultures to keep it comfortable with the humans that they're encountering.
What about these stairways to nowhere? Actually, you've heard the story of Jacob's Ladder.
Yes.
Maybe that's where these come. Maybe it's been around forever, and the story of Jacob's Ladder kind of is an interpretation of these stairways to the ancient.
Hell yeah, bud.
The ancient interpretation of these stairways to nowhere.
Also an interesting thought.
We might have to revisit this and maybe in a Patreon.
Well, because I don't want to be like, I'm sure somebody will have some thought or something to say about the level of research here, but given how this came to light,
hey, they should be happy we didn't do more dick and fart jokes.
Well, I know this turned into a really because there's so much. It's not even serious. There's just so much. There's so much to question, and there's so many questions that can be linked to things that, as we all fucking know, because anybody that's listening to this is listening to this for a reason, and it is because you and I like to fucking talk about stuff that interests us.
Right.
Some of the things that interest us are the paranormal and the fucking supernatural. All things that can be correlated to these possible experiences out there. Hi, Moon Unit.
Moon Unit's here. But my point is, we made more.
Plymouth Rock we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. And it was shaped like some motherfucking stairs.
We made more jokes with Fred and Rosemary West than we did in this episode. What the fuck is wrong with us? And that was a horrifying story.
Yeah.
What Moon Unit have to say?
He said, on the stairs thing, maybe it's something to do with geometry of the damn things. Angles seem to be a big deal with pyramids and stuff like that.
Well,
that's true.
Angles are the strongest structure.
Triangles are the strongest structure known to man.
Right.
The strongest
the angle
man-made
makes the triangle. You have to have the angle to make the triangle.
Yeah.
Being a machinist, I know this shit.
Well, I mean, literally just means
it's
three
weight
angles.
bearing. So if a house were to collapse or erode, I would think if the stairs are built in a triangle, which they should be, not these spiral shit.
Well, it's just it's the best disbursement of load.
Right.
Because, I mean, rectangles and squares have four sides. Yes, but then you have more of a space. You have more area in which to put a mass in the middle of something that only has support on the very ends of it. and there is no angular shit within that to hold up that center mass. Right. Whereas with a triangle, you have your what's the fucking word? You got legs, you got your two legs, and you've got your fucking hypotenuse.
Yeah.
So worst case scenario, you put a load in the middle of the hypotenuse, which is the longest part of the triangle, but that triangle is pushing on the top and the bottom,
right,
as opposed to being supported horizontally.
Right. The weight is evenly dispersed at an angle, and it's
yes.
Yeah.
As fucking stupid as we talk sometimes, this man's he's a machinist, so you're like basically like an underpaid engineer.
Fuck! Don't get me started on engineers.
And they're necessary though.
They're necessary, but I've met quite a few.
I know a couple engineers
that are dumber than a box of fucking rocks.
I know a couple engineers. They're not. The ones I know, because they're like, that's fucking stupid. Like, it makes sense, but it's so stupid.
Well, don't get me
and then he's, like I said, he's a machinist, and I'm just a fucking nerd. I wish I was like this when I was in high school. I would have been in like fucking Harvard or MIT if I had the thirst for knowledge that I have now.
If I wasn't lazy, I could have been something.
You know what helped is I became broke, and I found that knowledge can never be taken away, and it is cheap as fuck to get if you have any type of source material.
The golden ratio, but I've only heard of the golden ratio as into good-looking hot chicks. Yes, there is something to the golden ratio, and it repeats in nature. But I don't know. Getting back to this, I just want to say this is fucking bullshit. But there might be something to it. Maybe, I don't know.
And it's like I said, like there's so many ins and outs and possibilities and shit. It's like I said, this could have been an ongoing thing, and it were just the vessel or the physical interpretation or representation of what we're seeing and experiencing has just been changing over the years as our society and as our species changes.
Right.
Like back in the day, it could have been fucking anything. You know what I mean? Like it could have been a fucking, like there could have just been a stationary mammoth in caveman times, and they're like, oh. Mm-hmm. And you walk into it, and then like zoom, and fucking Blurg and Blarg, the fucking cavemen, are on Xenon 74, and they're like, what the fuck are these things? Get the fucking anal probes. Let's find some stuff out. This one stinks like shit.
Well, if it's an anal probe, it's going to stink like shit. I'm no rocket science or engineer, but I know that.
No, I was talking about Blurg and Blarg, the cavemen. I'd imagine caveman couldn't smell very good.
Whenever an anus gets probed, it's shitty.
Unless you fucking...
Did the cleanse? What?
Yeah, unless you use an enema first.
You blew that
like
shit
porn
out.
Stars.
Literally and figuratively.
Just like I did in the woods while I was playing Frisbee golf. And it's all circular.
We've come right back to the shit.
But yeah, there's just...
I don't know. I mean...
It's just like any other supernatural phenomena. Like, It could all be fucking bullshit. We could all be imagining all of it, or it could be completely fucking valid and concrete as fuck, and it's just not known by the masses. Or it's not meant to be known by the masses. Another thought I just had.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
What if...
We're brainstorming.
What if this is some type of... Since SAR people, search and rescue people, in some way, shape, or form are employees of at least a state government, what if this is yet another variation, sidebar, of an MK Ultra?
The PSYOP.
Equally as valid as every other explanation that we've adventured.
Honestly, that's, in my mind, with this particular story, is almost more plausible than the supernatural version of it.
Yeah. I agree. Like, they just build these stairs out in the middle of nowhere, the government, and then, like, fucking every time they find them, Agent Smith from Matrix is just, like, sitting there in a ghillie suit, and he's just with a blow dart in somebody's neck, and they're like, I'm freaking out, man.
I can't hear.
And they just sit there. He pulls out his little fucking, he flips open his highway patrolman flip open leather book, and he's just like, subject climbs stairs. Subject shits his pants. Subject is now crying. Subject is finger painting with shit. Subject, oh fuck, he sees me. Terminate experiment. Administering antidote. And he just ghillie suits back into place, never to be seen again.
Oh boy, that's more plausible than I don't know.
Right?
This one's just got me. I discombobulated. I just don't.
So, I guess we've culminated that.
Yeah,
as far as we can.
Let's get you what you were going to talk about. In the
my pre-show that turned into a post-show because it's at the end of my notes and I forgot about it. So
good planning on your part.
To close on a less serious. Well, I mean, not that we've been
more serious than them.
I'd say I wouldn't say serious. I would say critical. Because it's just so questionable. There's so many questions that are left unanswered by something that has blown up as big as it has on the internet world that we live in.
Yes, this wonderful internet world.
Yes.
The destruction of humanity.
I mean, porn's free. We're good.
That's the best part of the fucking internet.
My pre-show comment or story that is now the post-show story. Hopefully somebody stuck around for this one.
Postpartum with Travis.
PPD, postpartum discussions, post-podcast discussions, PPD.
There you go. It's a new segment here, guest of the night.
So this fits into the paranormal as well to an extent. We go back to August 7th of 2013, the year of our Lord.
Good year.
I was 23 years old, just spry and fucking ready to. I was fucking fat back then, like fatter.
I was 41. Wait, no, I was 30. Wait, no, hold on.
That was 9 years ago.
Yeah, so I was 40. I was turning 41.
Okay.
At the end of the year.
Anyway, so old. Got it. So August 7th, 2013 in North Carolina, Sonny Clay Hyatt, who was in the woods ghost hunting with his friends in the middle of the night. He was searching for spirits in the wooded areas. And he lost his way in these woods while he was searching for paranormal activity.
He obviously wasn't a Boy Scout, didn't have his compass.
Right. He couldn't look for which side of the tree the moss was on.
Didn't
None of that.
He Cub Scout leader leading around with his dick.
He couldn't fucking, how in Crocodile Dundee tells time. He said, you can tell that just by looking at the sun. He's like, no, I got to watch. Oh, no, that was the Aborigine guy.
Yes.
He was like, oh, it's about 6. I got to get back. You can tell that just by the sun? No, you got a Casio. So, since he lost his way in the woods in the middle of the night in North Carolina while he was hunting for paranormal activity with his friends, what does he do? He calls the police for help. Understandable.
Wait a minute.
Understandable.
He had a cell phone?
Well, this is 2013, so he might not have had a smartphone. It's North Carolina. He might not have had a smartphone. Maybe he just had a fucking rotary phone and like a fucking little dish that he could put up in the air.
Flip phone?
Yeah, a razor. Duh. Oh. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me because it's like, or they very well just might not have been, what back then 2G, 3G. He might not have had that kind of reception. Maybe he could only make phone calls.
Maybe.
So. Understandable. You get a little lost and scared in the woods. You call the cops for help. So the police showed up to assist this Sonny Clay Hyatt. And in assisting him, they started to notice that there was some little holes in his story that didn't really add up on him paranormal activity hunting, ghost hunting with his amigos in the woods.
Okay, so I'm curious on where this is going.
So they continued to grill him a little bit and kind of push buttons here and there and kind of push the subject, the topic, to see if he continued to have these this holy story, if you will. And as they were trying to gather more details of this man's story, of why he was there with his friends in the middle of the night searching for paranormal activity and got lost by himself, Sonny Hyatt, he eventually admitted to police that they were actually in the woods cooking meth.
What a letdown. But not a shocker.
And they all got arrested. So this man had the audacity, the gall, the balls, the fucking sheer to take something as pure and holy in the eyes of God
as
paranormal investigating to cover up his fucking middle of the fucking backwoods cousin brother butt fucking sister aunt having 3-toe having children fucking 2.5-inch deep family gene pool looking fucking Rocky Dennis from the movie Mask having ass bullshit fucking not even Mountain Dew fucking mountain citrus drop from Kroger or like Moo Mist fucking Faygo shake and bake meth with fucking Duracell battery strips. Just it's gonna be a good batch, man. We're gonna be just like Heisenberg or whatever that guy's name is from the fucking the Breaking Bad.
I'm gonna say something you've never heard before. With everything you said, that's a fucking mouthful.
You heard it here first.
Look at that.
Check in every week for more bullshit like that. Go back to the beginning of the episode. Hear my rant about the fucking commenters. Again, I'm not butthurt about them. Dude, if you're gonna leave hate comments on our videos, I'm not saying our videos because we're fucking cool or we get a lot of downloads or none of that shit. If you're gonna pick us, specifically me, we can both take it.
Oh, I can take
but specifically me, at least come correct enough that you drop a fucking like you at least throw an insult at me that I can't just automatically beat. Be more creative. They're not even fucking funny. Oh, look, another fucking spam account. It really irritates me. I'm like, dude, like if you're gonna leave hate comments on our videos, at least make me laugh. Because I'm the first person to laugh at myself if you make a good funny.
Yeah.
But they're just not.
I mean, just come strong, baby. It's come strong. That's all I ask. But the way
come
I look
correct.
The way I look at it, thanks for the fucking view, baby.
You got to check yourself before you riggedy wreck yourself.
But don't talk about, famous and.
Yeah.
Trust me, I'm well aware.
Don't come at us over comments that are clearly sarcastic.
Yes. But don't come.
I am fucking famous. Write it down. I'm the Melania Trump of this podcast shit. I started this podcast shit, and this is the motherfucking thanks I get. What the fuck? No, clearly we're joking. You fucking twat waffle douche.
I just think it's kind of funny when people bitch about
being
stop pompous and all that shit, and they have 2 subscribers and no content whatsoever.
But we're pompous, but because we make jokes about being famous and shit, they now are feeling the need to voice their opinion on our jokes.
Hey, I'm going to clip this out. Moon Unit. Matter of fact, hold on. I'm going to screenshot this fucking shit. And I'm going to put it in a goddamn video.
Hold on while Phil breaks his 73-year-old brain taking a screenshot. I didn't even know you could do that on a computer. I'm not going to lie.
I think I just screenshotted it. I'm not going to check for right now. But then I'm going to make another short video and see all these comments and highlight Moon Unit loves us. It says, I quote, I love you guys.
Gonzo called me big sexy.
And you know what? That means we're fucking famous. In our circle, we are fucking famous. Now, just because we're not...
Reach one, teach one.
Just because we don't have millions and millions upon millions, we got the best 10 goddamn followers money can buy.
How do you know, commenters?
I'm just saying.
We don't.
Fame is relative.
Is relatory?
Yeah, relatory.
Fame is regulatory.
That was the original name of Skeletor, but... No, it's relative.
Until we meet again.
In our circle, we do have a little bit of fame. In our circle.
It's just how you measure.
8-10 people that we are famous to.
Yeah. It's just how you measure
that take time out of their busy evening. They could be... These people in this live stream could be doing anything. Hell, I'd rather be off in the corner jacking off.
It's funny because my phone says we've got 8 in our live stream. Like 4 people are probably just not even talking, just picking lint out of their belly button.
I mean, but I appreciate these 8 people that took time out of their...
These are my belly button lint pickers.
I mean, they could be doing anything in this world today with all the distractions they have. You can do. It's not like
they could be going down. They could be going down a fucking Pornhub hole, but they're watching us. Probably doing the same activity as they would be down a Pornhub hole. But hey,
I mean, it's not 1976 where you got 3 fucking channels to watch, and you got to watch them with Grandpa sleeping, snoring in the fucking chair.
Ted Turner came in, and that's what we are. We're the Ted Turner of this shit. We're coming in. We're changing everything. WCW.
Let me screenshot
fucking
this one
Wolfpack. New World Order for life.
Screenshot that. Gregory kicked her in. Be on the lookout for another shortcoming in the next day or two.
Be on the lookout for a shitload more hate comments. That's the other thing is like these fucking comments that are hating on us. I never see them more than once. So how much are you? How fucking one? How small is your dick? 2,
not as small as mine.
How fucking butthurt can you get? 3, how fucking much of a just straight little bitch can you be that you see one product from us and you take the time to negatively try to affect us?
I think it's funny. I do. I honestly think it's hilarious.
It is. It's like I said 10 times already. The only thing that pisses me off is that they don't even say anything good enough for me to really want to respond to them. The one guy, I was like, do you really think this was worth it? You watched it.
Right,
and you took the time to comment on it. So, yeah, cunt nugget, fuck you. Gotcha. Thanks, babe. Bye. But then the little kid, I'll tell everybody, it was fun. You shouldn't eat for like a week on our meatballs short.
Yes.
Like, oh, good one, Jeremy.
Hold on. I will bring it up. We will get the exact quote. Hold on.
Way to be. While you're here and you're fucking trying to tell me I'm fat, no shit. We're literally on camera. You can see all 36 of my chins. My dick. I haven't seen my dick since 2004. What else do you want to know? Sometimes I find myself putting my arms out like this on the door frame of my car and helping myself push myself up. How else can we talk about Travis is fat? The closest I ever get to meeting anybody's God, if they're really out there, is when I bend over to tie my shoes in the morning. I'm on a diet, though. Fuck you.
The fuck is that short?
But, like, you shouldn't eat for like a week. Dude, I snooped your profile. You will remain unnamed because I'm pretty sure you're fucking 8. But, that being said, here's what you do, kiddo, if you're watching out there. Turn off Fortnite or Apex or fucking Among Us or whatever the fuck you little douchebags are playing these days because you think you matter.
Oh, here it is.
And go, because the kid literally had gaming videos on his shit. Don't know if it was really him or not. Didn't have any audio or anything. So, I say again, put down the controller. Pick up a book. Or better yet, pick up your cell phone. And go play with your fucking friends. Stop
play
being
with yourself. I'm okay with
something.
that too.
Like, literally do anything other than, like... like I said, I snooped your page, kiddo. Stop playing fucking Apex Legends. That's not getting you anywhere. I like video games too. They're fun. But if all you're going to do is play video games and be 9 and be fucking stupid and talk bad shit, it's like I said, I'm fat and I shouldn't eat for like a week. Yeah, well, your mom probably looks like John C. Reilly got smacked in the face with a dirty diaper full of fucking Indian food, set on fire, kicked out by Andre the Giant's fucking, like, the cast from when he had ankle surgery, and then probably mix that with, like, an Ewok that fucked whatever the Rancor was from Coneheads, and then mix that together again, roll it up in a pile of dog shit, and then plop it on a fucking couch with a plastic cover on it. Boom, your mom. There we go. That's how you come at us when you want to talk shit. Get creative. Try to be a little funny. Or just go fuck yourself. Like, be good or be good at it. God, like, give me something to laugh at. Like, make a one-liner about me being fat that I'm gonna be like, that's a fucking good one.
That's good.
Like, God, say something about the fact that every time Phil ejaculates, it's just fucking dust because he's 700 years old. Anything. Give us something funny. Oh, I heard a really good fucking dirty dad joke the other day.
Well, what was it?
So, in the town I live in, they threw that we had a little parade, and we got together. We decided that we were going to have an incest contest. So I entered my sister. But
I need a soundboard right now. I'm going in, and Ed putting a little.
That would be, dude. That would be better than the attempts at levity that these commenters get.
Hey, like I always say, man, comment all you want. I'm just happy you listen.
Right?
I'm happy.
That's the thing is, like, you want to hate, but like you still watched it. You watched it enough that you can actually quote things that we said. So I would say, looking at our analytics and looking at our viewer retention for the length of a short, you're probably in that small percentage that actually watched the whole fucking thing. So we actually got more growth and more push onto other people's screens because of you. And again, I refer you back. Your mom probably looks like a donkey that fucked a gorilla that's been dead for 10 years, and then, like, I don't know, and then an alien came down and, like, they bred with it, but it wasn't like a cool alien. It was like one of those aliens from Galaxy Quest that was like half octopus that just, and then, like, I don't know, and then, every time you bang her, every time your dad bangs that ugly mom, it's like somebody poured turpentine into one of those fucking Gwyneth Paltrow vagina candles and lit it.
Or I'm choosing to look at think about it the other way. Maybe his mom is a hot Instagram model or TikTok celebrity.
His mom, this kid's hating on us, but his mom's rolling around with a fucking OnlyFans link on the back of her Honda Odyssey. He's hating on us, and it's because all he gets to hear at night while he's trying to play Apex with his friends is his mom screaming about the 4.5 foot diameter dildo that's going up her asshole. No lube. Dry, just like your conception, Tanner.
All right.
God damn. We just see the fuck. Oh, that's my luck. I got a grip.
Well, if you wouldn't eat for a week, you wouldn't cramp the fuck up.
Oh my God. I deserve that. I deserve that cramp. That was so bad. That hurt so bad.
Oh fuck.
Oh shit. Oh, that's what I get for drinking a fucking energy drink in the middle of this. God damn. Oh, that hurts.
What was I doing?
That was a good one. I'm afraid to bend my leg because I can feel it. It's still in there.
I say let's start wrapping.
It's still in there, like the fucking guy down the street stealing your mom, Tanner. Oh God, God sees you when you touch yourself at night. To your fucking anime girls, you fucking weirdo. It's going away.
Okay, I say we start wrap. We need to start steering her to the end here. Let's talk about next week. Next week's episode will probably be Monday again, right? Yeah, Monday 7-ish. Most likely.
It's gonna get weird again here soon because I'm on 6. I got a 6-day schedule this week, and I very well might be going to 7 again.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah.
But the next episode we record will be about vampires. Now we started off.
I don't know how loud that peak's gonna be when I got that cramp, dude. That motherfucker came out of nowhere, and it was a rough one.
I think
I should probably drink some more of this water.
I think we might get some comments about busted eardrums. No, but
it's after the fact. But headphone warning.
Yeah. Next week we're doing.
I wonder if it sounded like Tanner's mom. What if the kid's name's actually Tanner?
No, well, it's not a screen name. Wow, what the fuck I got going on with my hair?
God, that hurt like a bitch, man.
Next,
it's still tight.
Episode.
Unlike Tanner's mom.
Next
shit.
episode will be about vampires. We started this to do this. We wanted to talk about the Vampires in America documentary, and I'm using that term very fucking loosely.
Yeah, that's a documentary, much like Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou is a fucking aquatic documentary.
It's the vampire version of Mountain Monster. But I think I want to talk more about vampires and, talk about, blood-sucking vampires, energy vampires, soul-sucking vampires. That's referring to my exes. But more of the
history. Didn't know I could feel cramps? Is that a fat joke too? Or is that we only exist on this live stream to some people so they don't know if we have legs or not?
I have a question. Are we really fucking here? Are we real people?
Or, much like Tanner's mom's asshole, are our assholes spread agape and there's somebody's hand going up there working us like a puppet?
I cringed a little with Gregory's comment.
Oh, the sandpaper fleshlight?
Yeah, that would. Ooh.
What are you talking about? I paid $2 extra for that feature.
That's a little too. But anyway, we're getting.
And I go hard. You want to know my sandpaper fleshlight? No, I had mine custom made. You know what it is? 14 grit. It's basically just shards of glass.
Yes, Gregor, I'm with you. Ex-wives, I have one of those too. A stick in the heart wouldn't kill her.
Vampires suck, says Moon Unit. Now that's a dad joke.
Oh boy.
I got one for you. Moon Unit, do your socks have holes in them? No. How do you put them on? Tune in next week.
Okay, vampires. But I want to branch out. Talk more.
I'm so afraid that my leg's gonna cramp up again.
talk about the history. Some of the vampires in America, like the New England vampires, and branch. Fill it up a little bit, and make fun of vampires.
Are we gonna include the vampires from What We Do in the Shadows? I can't believe you haven't watched that show yet. It's a movie and a show. It was a movie like.
You mean Dark Shadows?
No. What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh.
It was a movie with Clement, whatever the fuck, the Flight of the Conchords guy.
Well, we will.
Gerard Clement or some shit like that. He made a movie back in the day, and now I think they're coming up on this third season on FXX. They made a show out of it.
Is that the one with the 9 living in the house?
Well, there's only 4 if you count Colin Robinson, the
I watched
energy
a couple
vampire.
of them.
Dude, I love that show.
Yeah.
That show's so fucking funny. He said, "Now I want to show you my prized possession of my what was it? His vulva garden." He just he trims all these bushes into the vaginas of his loves of his life. He's like the piece de resistance of my vulva garden, my mother.
Vulva garden. No, but I want to give a little bit of history because we can make fun of.
Now, are we going to try to cover all the history? No, and when I say all the history, are we talking about because I can take,
some of the different explanations.
I can go sidebar because I would like to go into the Egyptian side of it. Because there's like a whole subsect of like Egyptian origins for vampires, and I find it very interesting. And also werewolves with Anubis, the god with the jackal's head.
We don't have to get too deep. I mean, we got plenty of episodes. We can come back to it.
Gregory likes What We Do in the Shadows. He said Nandor is the best. He said they used to call me Nandor the Relentless because I never relent. He's so stupidly funny. He said, all I'm saying is before you move on to the next human, you should finish the first one. You got leaving these people downstairs half drunk. It's unhygienic. Love that movie. They go to buy party favors and he throws a coin at the cash register or the cashier. He's like, did you just throw a coin at me? He's like, yes. And he's like, you can't just be throwing coins at people, man. And he just goes, he's there with this familiar. He goes, Guillermo stabbed this man. He goes, I'm sorry. It's so funny. You gotta give it a couple episodes before it really starts to like flourish.
I'll start watching it again. What did I watch this week? Billions.
Have you watched Dracula yet? The Netflix series? It's like 3 episodes. They're like an hour and a half long.
No.
It's I heard that it goes downhill after the first one, but I actually kind of enjoyed the first one. It's darkly dry, funny to me.
I don't want to get too deep into history. We'll revisit because I do want to talk about vampires in America and that whole
Vampirica.
That whole documentary
thing.
I want to make fun of that.
It's a fucking movie. If that's a documentary, then John Carpenter's fucking Vampires is a movie or a documentary, and that had Billy Baldwin in it and Robert Woods
and John Bon Jovi.
Jesus Christ!
Because he went down in a flame of glory.
And if those are documentaries, then guess what else is a documentary? From Dusk Till Dawn, baby. You know what I always forget?
That's what I watched.
Dusk Till Dawn?
No. No, what's his name's in it? Which he's in this movie I watched, Heat. Val Kilmer, Richard De Niro, and
Richard De Niro?
Robert De Niro. And
hey, did you see that new Richard De Niro movie? Yeah, next week I'm going to go see that Sal Vagino.
And it's got, what's his name?
That was a bad one.
It's got that one Mexican actor.
Danny Trejo?
Trejo, yeah.
I love Danny
He's
Trejo.
in that too. And he's in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Danny Trejo's an interesting human being.
Oh, he's a madman.
He was like a legit, like, he never joined a gang, but like a legit gangster. Yeah. He was on parole when he got his first acting job, I think. He also saved Edward James Olmos' life, from the way he tells it. The guy that made American Me.
Oh, really?
Have you seen American Me?
No.
It's about the beginnings of the Mexican mafia, and he portrayed the originator of one of the original members of the Mexican mafia getting raped in a juvenile camp, which I guess did not happen. And he had correspondence with these people, and he did not clear with them that he was going to say that this happened and depict it in the movie. And then next thing you know, Edward James almost had a hit on him. And I guess that Danny Trejo had something to do with them
dropping it.
Yeah.
But he is I forgot how good that movie was. It's got everybody. I mean, Al Pacino.
I have not seen the new. I need to watch it. I haven't seen the Texas Chainsaw.
Is there another new one? Oh, okay, I started to watch the reboot or redo it.
Oh, I don't. I think there's one from this year, or maybe the very end of last year.
There was another new one.
I don't know.
Or redo.
There's so many. They're so bad.
It was a redo.
So the first one, great. All of the other ones, honestly, the one from like the mid 2010s or whatever was probably the second best one.
Yeah.
The remake with I think it had Jessica Biel in it.
Yeah, that was probably the second best one after the first one. That's when I started to watch.
Oh no, there's another new one.
Okay.
There's a newer one.
But I still couldn't get through it.
Oh no, what I want to know is fucking why is Cheech Marin not in more stuff? Speaking of From Dusk Till Dawn.
What was I watching?
Do you remember his character even? Most people don't. He has such a small part. He was like the hype man in front of the titty bar. He was like, oh, come on, we got all kinds of pussy. We got hairy pussy, bald pussy, black pussy, Mexican pussy, stinky pussy. Like that was the gist of his lines in that movie. And then next time you saw him, they locked the doors at nightfall so they could all vamp out and eat everybody, and he just turned around like
misconception of that movie. That is not a Quentin Tarantino movie.
No,
he did not write it.
It's Guillermo del Toro, isn't it?
Yeah, he had nothing to do with other than to.
I think he was probably
maybe
he probably had something to do with the behind
producer,
the scenes,
but he didn't write it. He didn't direct it. He was mainly just an actor.
He made an ugly fucking vampire. Even it wasn't his movie, but he still somehow worked his foot fetish into it.
Well,
when Salma Hayek put her fucking toes in his mouth and started pouring tequila down her leg, I was like, that's actually pretty hot.
It's time me the fuck up.
But yeah, if you don't know, if you go back and watch, pretty much every Quentin Tarantino movie has some type of reference to his foot fetish in it.
That's paranormal.
Like Kill Bill when she's sitting in the car, like wiggle your big toe, and it just keeps going back to her feet, and it's just. And she's like, the hard part is done. And then next thing you know, she's chopping up fucking Vivica A. Fox.
All right. I think next week we'll talk about vampires. We'll work out how it's going to be. We're going to be a little funny about...
We're going to talk about sucking. Like Tanner's mom. Can we do a Hulk Tanner's mom clip, please? There's got to be at least 5 good clips out of this episode.
But we'll work out next week's episode. We will make fun of the Vampires in America documentary. I do, but I will say this:
coming in hot on that one. Holy shit!
They did.
I don't give a fuck about that. I like seeing you get fired up.
They did make some interesting points that make sense to me, and I will cover those next week.
You know, it wasn't an interesting point.
What?
The Kevlar bandana.
That was fucking hilarious.
It's to protect me from their bite, and so they can't see the movement of my vein. As I said, everybody watch this show. It's probably on Discovery Plus. 1, you're wearing it like a fucking neckerchief. That ain't protecting you from shit, Daniel. 2, not fat shaming. Even if I am, I'm allowed to because I'm fat.
Yeah,
I don't give a yeah. I don't give a I don't fucking care how vampire-y that vampire is and how acute his senses are. I saw that man. I gave him a good up and down a couple times during the course of that film. If you want to call something a fucking film, it was more like an abortion on TV. The old school kind, and I'm not trying to be insensitive. I'm talking like the 1822 kind, where they're like, "Oh, drink this potion, I'm gonna kick you in the stomach." There's no fucking way. I don't care how astute of attention this vampire is paying. Nobody's seeing that man's neck fat jiggle with his fucking pulse. Yeah. He had a neck waddler like fucking Winston Churchill, but he had the decadent bullshit greasy hair of Billy Ray Cyrus.
Don't use all the A material this week. Save some for next week. But this
bandana is made of Kevlar.
We are going to sink our teeth into vampires next week.
I hope that he really has a Kevlar bandana. I hope that he made the production people pay for a Kevlar bandana, even though it kind of looked like a red shop towel from a mechanic's.
It looked like
place.
a loose gator.
Yeah,
that's all it was.
But it was tied in the front. Like he looked like Fred from Scooby Doo let himself go 25 years ago, and now this is as supernatural as he gets.
All right.
And also, let's not forget the best part of that whole film when he's walking around with the luminol. And dude, so first off, we won't even get too far into the details of that. But you actually saw me. I lost my shit over the smallest detail of that scene when they're walking around and he's got the flashlight around and they're just looking and he just goes, it sprays like a half spray just randomly where the lights aren't even flashing, none of that shit, and he's got the look, the I'm looking for something look, and just keeps moving like this. He didn't even stop to see if anything showed up.
It was classic. It was a comedy.
Oh God!
All right.
Oh, it was. It wasn't supposed to be funny, but it was fucking hilarious.
We are going to wrap up this episode. Thank you to everybody that showed up in the live stream, for everybody listening on their favorite podcast app, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Podbean, a bunch of others that I can't fucking remember, but that's okay. I'm old, as Travis likes to say. We greatly appreciate it.
You know more of them than I do.
Be sure to rate, review, on however you listen to the podcast. Be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. We popped up 5 just the other day. Big numbers for us.
Right.
Big numbers for not famous motherfuckers. You're famous to me, and I'm famous to you. That's all that fucking matters.
Tanner's mom probably gets that many OnlyFans accounts in like 2.5 minutes.
Okay. But be sure to share this on all your social medias. Be sure to follow us on the social medias at Ghost in the Night. At Ghost_Night on Twitter, at Ghost_Night_. I got these all fucked up. At Ghost_Night_ podcast on Instagram, which is.
Are you having a fucking stroke?
Maybe. I'm getting all flushed. Look at me. I'm red. Either that or I'm drunk. One of the two.
Yeah.
More likely. Where was I at? At GITN.podcast on TikTok. Be sure to follow us there. And search us. What is it? At Ghost in the Night on Facebook. Wow, all that happy shit. Fuck it. They're on the screen. Watch it on the fucking video.
And subscribe to Tanner's mom on OnlyFans. Her screen name is That Bitch Stretchiny.
Oh, well, I was going to say something else, but fuck, I forgot what I was going to say now. God. Oh, don't forget. If you missed it in the beginning, we made an appearance on Hillbilly Horror Stories. Check out in the description below that there's a link to get to their website, which will get you to our episode, or just search them on your favorite podcast app.
They'll pop up.
And, oh, yeah, because they are famous. They are really fucking famous.
Jerry Pauly's like... He's like my Tom Cruise, minus the Scientology. And probably about 4 inches taller.
Probably. But be sure to check us out, or check our appearance on those.
Basically what I'm saying is he's not Tom Cruise. He's
had
better than Tom Cruise.
We had a very enlightening and fun time speaking with Jerry.
We did.
It was very interesting, and we had some common ground. We roamed the same areas, we found out.
We've been to the same places, just like half the county of Sarasota, Florida has been in Tanner's mom.
All right, we're fucking out of here. Thanks for everybody for checking it out. We love you. Be sure to, like I said, comment, and go comment on Tanner's fucking goddamn comment. All right, just to make this son of a bitch happy over here.
Oh, no, you don't have to. I think I got him pretty good.
Yeah, he got lit up like a Christmas tree. All right.
Like the Christmas tree butt plug that his mom bought last night.
She's not good enough for a hand grenade butt plug.
She's just on live stream on OnlyFans, or on fucking live cams. Happy holidays, Daddy.
All right, we're out here. Thank you once again. We love you. We'll see you next week, hopefully on Monday. But we'll let you know before. Be sure to follow us on all the social medias. That way we'll give you a heads up. And be sure to like and to leave comments on all our shorts and share those as well.
Oh, I'm dehydrated.
Me too. All right.
Go figure. The guy that had a fucking life-ending cramp in the middle of his podcast is dehydrated.
Shocker there.
I literally thought my leg was going to fall off.
Dr. Phil didn't see that coming.
I thought it was going to fall off. And then if it did, perfect size dildo for Tanner's mom.
We're going to end on that note. Say bye, Travis.
Bye, Travis. And Tanner.